Like I put a plant right there. I'm like professional now. Keto. Keto. I've come off of keto after a bad fasting experience. You can watch that video there. And I'm feeling good. And I'm gonna talk to you about that. I'm really glad that this is not heavy cream. I was, yeah, gosh, that's actually really gross to just like drink heavy cream, like ew. So before keto, and the main reason why I wanted to try it out and to give it the old college try, I tried it once, like way in the past, like some couple of 2-3 years ago, whatever, the beginning of this channel. But only for a month. I didn't realize that that was not a long enough period of time to be on keto for it to potentially have its beneficial effects, right? And so I wanted to try it again to see how it would affect my cognition and my mental health, because I feel like I've struggled with some like depressive sort of symptoms. I have no diagnosis of this. I've talked about that before. But you know, I was experiencing symptoms of depression, particularly before my cycle. So like premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which I had talked to my doctor about, and she had mentioned that could be something that I had. But then also like the main reason that I started this channel is like my cognition has been really poor for several years. And I wanted to see if keto would give me a boost in my cognitive functioning. Like my memory is quite poor. I get like scatterbrained a lot. You know, struggle to focus. I feel like confused about things, even though I know like objectively it's not something confusing. So that kind of stuff. I wanted to see if all of that would improve with keto. And it did, like to an extent. I didn't have like the most amazing like symptom relief. Like people talk about having such, you know, like such mental clarity that like they've never experienced before, and like symptoms of all these like mental illnesses that go into remission when people are doing keto, and like you know, memories coming back and like this kind of thing. I didn't like experience anything that profound, but I did become more level, more stable. Like my mood became more stable. Instead of having like higher highs and lower lows, I was just kind of more stable across the board during keto. And I felt more like I want to say I did start feeling less confused about things. And something with that would happen a lot is I would start to feel just kind of like confused or scattered, and that would really start to like stress me out. And so my stress level would go up. I would be like frustrated by it, and I would feel just like stressed out, you know? And that got better. I started to feel a bit calmer. I started to feel it like, again, with like the stability. I started to feel overall more calm and steady. And when I still like started to feel a bit more like scattered or confused, I was kind of able to center myself better and just be like, no, it's fine. Like, this is okay. Just, I can just take my time, or I can set it aside, or like whatever. And coming off of keto, I was worried that, you know, my symptoms would just regress, you know, to be what they were before keto. And that really hasn't happened. Now, granted, I haven't been off keto for that long. It's been like less than a week. But you would think that if the symptoms were gonna come back, they would just come back. Now, I am curious to see how I do like before my cycle is gonna start. I haven't gotten there yet. Off keto, that was like, yeah, not perfect on keto, but the symptoms were definitely better. Oh yeah, so yeah, it hasn't been that long that I've been off keto, but I really just mostly felt the same as I had been feeling on keto, except like more like alive. I don't exactly know how to explain it. Like it, the way people, people talk about like the keto calm or the carnivore calm. And I remember some video a while back, Vegetable Police saying that, well, actually, that's not calm, like you're just dead inside. And like it kind of feels like that a little bit, like I've come back alive in some sense. It's like there's some sort of energy that I can't really explain or I can't really articulate. That's just like, I feel more like things are firing. Like there's more of a sparkle. Like, I don't know. I don't exactly know how to explain it, but I haven't been struggling like with the symptoms that I was struggling with before, or at least not in this like 5 days or whatever it's been. I don't know. So again, we'll see if it lasts. But like, I've even had bread, dude. I had some bread because, like I mentioned in a past video, one of my keto updates or whatever, that like around when I started keto, my mother-in-law just like randomly gifted me a sourdough starter. And so I've been baking sourdough for my family, and I haven't been eating any of it. And I ate some, and it's very good. I'm proud of myself. It's good. They've been enjoying it too. But yeah, so I've had some of my sourdough for like a couple of days now. And we also went to the local bakery that we love, and I had a chocolate croissant. Oh my God. They're so freaking good, dude. And like, I've been fine. I want to experiment with that. I'm going to experiment with that at some point, doing like an actual like grain-based diet, and see how I react. Like maybe I just haven't had enough, because I've talked about my issues with wheat in the past, where like the day after I would have wheat, or like too much. Like this seems to be like some kind of threshold. If I just have a little bit, it's fine. But if I have too much, then the next day my mental health is in the dumpster. Like I feel like I'm being oppressed by demons, and that hasn't happened. So we're gonna experiment with that and see what my limits are. Could something really have been fixed after just like 5 months? I did like 4 months of keto and 5 months of low carb. So like 5 months altogether. Like I started off low carb for like a month and then transitioned into actual keto for like 4 months. This is what I'm trying to say. Gosh. Like, could something really have been fixed in my gut that quickly? Like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting anything either way. I was just like, I'm gonna eat this bread and see, how I feel. And I felt fine. I feel fine. So I was disappointed with my keto experience while I was on keto, because as I've talked about, I struggled to get into like therapeutic levels of ketosis. I never got there. And like, maybe that's why I was just started to like, it just progressively got more difficult for me to sustain the diet over time, is because my body didn't do a good job of like switching over to fat burning. And so I wasn't getting like, as much energy like as I should have been from the diet. Right. And so over time that just like compounded or whatever. Like, that's just my theory. I don't really know anything, but, So yeah, like I was disappointed with that. But now that I'm coming out of it, I'm back on carbs. And I'm not like eating like okay, I got one thing that's trash, but I'm mostly like, I'm not eating like trash. I'm just eating like a normal, like whole food for the most part diet, and I feel fine. So I'm like, it kind of feels like, here's what it feels like. Okay. Here's what it feels like. It feels like before I went keto, like and I've talked about this before, I had like a period of time where life was just really hard. And I kind of got stuck in this like anxious isn't the right word, but just kind of like not being able to fully calm down state, where just like I couldn't just like be chill. It's like if something was like frustrating or stressful, which just like life often just is, I just couldn't like figure out how to step out of that. I forgot what it felt like to just be totally calm. And keto kind of forced me into that state. And I remembered, and then it's like now, like I remember what it feels like to just be chill. And so now, even though I'm not keto anymore, I can still just be chill. Like that's, I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was like, it really is. It's like, I just kind of, because I spent so many years in that, like maybe it's like the, stuck in the fight or flight kind of mode or whatever, that keto, although it wasn't like this major success for me or anything in like any other terms, it like forced me into more of like a relaxed, calm state. And that has like reminded me, like now that I remember what it feels like, I can just go there. I can just be there, even without the diet. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. And it's like, now that I'm not keto, I feel like more alive. Like, I don't know how exactly to put it or articulate it. I feel still calm, but more alive in some way than I did when I was on keto. I mean, I guess that's the glucose, right? Like, it's like glucose freaking like, that's our energy source, baby. Like, yeah, so I guess that's what I have to say about that. I don't know. All right, so what's next, dude? I don't even know. I still have not lost this weight. Obviously, okay, so coming off of keto, I didn't really seem to actually lose any weight on keto. My weight fluctuated between like a bit lower than it had been and like the normal weight. So like 168, 169 at the high end, and then like 164 or so at the low end. And it was just like fluctuating in that range. And now I'm just more back up at the top of that range. That's all just like water. It's just like, I didn't actually lose any weight on keto, it doesn't seem. Still to this day, the only thing I've done that has resulted in a lasting weight loss is that first freaking juice fast, man. That first juice fast, the stars aligned, and I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks, and I felt fine the whole time. And now I'm like pissed off that I didn't go for longer, because at the time I was just like, yeah, cool, whatever. And then I just started to feel a little like I was ready to break it. So I was like, I'm gonna break it now, like whatever. I should have gone for longer, dude. I could have. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do to try and lose weight. I haven't like shown any pictures of myself for a while, but I look like I've got a gut. Like that's just, I've got the spare tire, and my thighs are a bit too big, like they're sticking out. And like, I'm not giving up, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I guess plans going forward, I do want to try out like a grain-based diet, because Yeah, like, again, like I've talked about before, I was vegan in the past. I really prefer eating more of a towards the plant-based end of the spectrum of dieting. That's what I prefer. I like to eat plants. I'm grossed out by meat. But I struggle with gas and bloating with a lot of different plant foods. But grains, like because I had the trouble with wheat, with like affecting my mental health, it just kind of felt like there was no way I could really do a plant-based diet or mostly plant-based diet, because it's like, can't do the wheat and like whatever grains. I can't do beans. I can't do potatoes. I can't do a lot of soy. And it's like, well, what is there left that like has protein in it or whatever? But if I'm able to do like a grain-based diet, that is actually like my dream diet anyway. So I think I'm gonna try that out. Do like whole foods, plant-based, heavy on the grains, and see what that does to me. I don't expect much of anything from anything at this point. Like, whatever. I still someday want to get more consistent with exercise, but I just have struggled always to remain consistent with it. So I'm gonna keep working on trying to get better with that. Like, I don't know what my plan is for that. I don't know, dude. I don't know. So have you done keto? Dear viewer, have you tried keto? Did you find success with it? Like, I'm wondering if this is like a common thing where, like, because 4 months is not like a long time, right? Like, it's not like a long time. And can like deeper healing of like the gut and whatever was causing my problems before, could it happen so quickly? I don't know. Dude. I don't freaking know what I'm saying anymore. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. I'm really happy to be off keto too, because I was getting really sick of my face and my ears getting hot. Like, dear God, that was just so uncomfortable. People told me that was like a histamine response, but I don't know. I don't freaking know. So, yep, thanks.